Today I stumbled across one of my baby pictures. I couldn't have been more than a few days old, and my eyes were barely open, and had one hand raised as if I was asking a question. I find this particularly funny because I really like to ask questions, and I often got into trouble in elementary school because I asked too many. But recently it has occurred to me that all boils down to my stubbornness. In my life, when I latch onto something, I don't let go. Whether it be math equations, baking experiments, or crafting fiascos, I never settle for less than the best. In moderation, this can be a great mentality for life, but for me, it is my own stumbling block. Sometimes I get too much in my head and I don't listen to what others say. I argue for and defend myself unnecessarily, and I hurt others' feelings in the process. And even though I recognize this fault in myself and am willing and working to overcome it, I still slip up. Before this sermon, I never really liked today's passage. It was too uncomfortable for me. It was too uncomfortable because I saw too much of myself in the Pharisees and the town people. The townspeople interrogate a man born blind, bring him before the Pharisees, interrogate his parents, and then interrogate him again. They can't grasp the power and the truth of Jesus. The Pharisees are so intent on strictly following the rules that they can't get over Jesus breaking the Sabbath. They can't accept the notion that Jesus is the Messiah even after witnessing a miracle unique to God and a literal act of creation. They can't get past their prejudice against this man who they deemed so unclean. The man born blind is thrown out of the town, physically healed but still an outcast. The townspeople and Pharisees want too much to judge. Their stumbling blocks are themselves, their own pride, judgment, and inability to love their neighbor. We should all strive to be like the man born blind. When Jesus physically healed the man, the townspeople and Pharisees interrogated him mercilessly. But through the questions, we see the blind man come to believe in the power of Jesus. And after the blind man is thrown out, Jesus seeks him out. Jesus asks, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And the blind man answers, "And who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus says again, "You have seen him, and it is he who is speaking to you." And the man born blind responds, "Lord, I believe," and he worshiped him. The blind man made room in his life for Jesus, and Jesus entered in. It reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses, Matthew 7:7. "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you." Jesus makes the man born blind his disciple and welcomes him into his community. His physical and social stumbling blocks have been removed, for he has been healed fully, wholly, and eternally. Jesus is not a one-size-fits-all miracle doer. He knows what each and what every one of us truly need. And here Jesus is acting as the great physician, tailoring this unique miracle to teach, heal, and build faith. At the same time, Jesus also rebukes the townspeople and Pharisees. Even encountering the light of the world himself, they cannot see the truth. They hide behind the rules, pride, and judgment. They are their own stumbling blocks. For judgment I came into this world, that those who do not see may see, and those who see may become blind. The Pharisees and town people think that they can see. They think that by following a series of social laws, they can earn admission into heaven. They think that they can follow God with acts alone. But this is legalism. And while it is true that rules and laws are important, they have to be anchored in faith. One without the other results in chaos and disillusionment. Jesus is the anchor, and once a blind man believes, he can see. For judgment I came into this world, that those who do not see may see, and those who see may become blind. Jesus restores true sight with his radical love. What he asks of us is that he be the only stumbling block in our lives. In order to do this, we must be like the man born blind who let Jesus in. Like it says in John 3:30, "He must increase, but I must decrease." We can only do this with God's help. With God's help, we can recognize, reduce, and eventually remove the worldly stumbling blocks in our lives. With God's help, we can build faith through prayer, meditation, mindfulness, silence, service, scripture reading, song, dance, conversation, and fellowship. With God's help and because of his love, we will understand that we do not see, and will have faith that we will one day truly see. I am working on my own stubbornness, but recognize that I might never root it out. I recognize that I am a sinner who frequently slips up, but I am working to listen more and talk less, to understand more than to be understood, and to fear less and love more. Though mistakes are inevitable, I know that with God's help and because of his love, I will one day truly see. So for now, I will try to stumble a little bit less on myself and stumble more on God.